What's up guys, welcome back to IT Security Labs, and in this video I'm going to show you how to exploit a HackTheBox machine called Granny. And I'm following Path Deshani's advice on how to pass OSCP like a boss, and one of the things that he suggests is going through all these HackTheBox machines listed here. And he says that if you can go through these machines and exploit them successfully without any help or minimal help, you'll be better prepared. So that's what I'm doing. Today we'll be going through a machine called Granny, and here's my HackTheBox. And I already started our machine. This machine is sitting on 10.10.15 and it's up and running. So let's go ahead and access our Kali machine and start exploiting this machine. So the first thing that I do is I ping my 10.10.10.15, even though my tunnel says it's up. So now that I know that I can get there, I'll clear my screen and run my nmap scan. This is my normal nmap scan. I'm using default scripts here, saved scripts, and I'm outputting to a folder named nmap, but no, I don't want to do it in here. So let's let me cd to my documents and make a directory called Granny, then change to that directory, Granny. Then from here, that's where I want to run my nmap scan, and this will be on 15. This way I can stay organized in my terminal here. So while this is running, I just wanted to encourage you that if you're interested in hacking videos, and if you're interested in learning more about ethical hacking, please consider subscribing and liking my videos. I make these regularly. I'm very passionate about IT security in general, and I plan on doing more of these videos. So if you are interested, subscribe and like my videos, and let me know what you think in the comments below so I can improve. So our results are up, and as you can see, we have port 80 open, and looks like we are running IS version 6. So the first thing is, that's interesting. Let me open my terminal to find out what I can find on that about IS version 6. And usually these IS versions are based on the version of Windows that you are running. So if I do IS version 6, it should tell me which version of Windows that it ran on. Wow, there is already some exploit modules here. It's on Windows Server 2003. So that's an old machine. Let's go back to our results. So I already know that I'm running Windows Server 2003 with ISS version 6. I'll take a note of that in my notes, make sure that I remember that. But we also have port 80 open. So let's just go to port 80, 10.10.10.15, and it says it's under construction. So that's interesting. So there's nothing really to see on this web server. So let's find the headers for this website, and so let's go ahead and check the headers for this website. So if you do a wget -q and then do a server -response and put our http 10.10.10.15, let's see what we find here. Okay, so from here we're just getting our website headers and see if we can see more information. We see ASP.NET, that's what's powered. This is very important because that means that we can exploit this machine by uploading ASPX payloads to it. So that's good. So I would take a screenshot of this as well and document it. But other than that, so from here let's find out which directories are open on this website. So let's use derb, and we can do an http 10.10.10.15 and see what we find here. And Derb will go through the website and let us know if we have any interesting folders. But since we already know that we have a website and we have ASP, powered by ASP, we can also move on while Derb is running. So back to our nmap result. I think we can tell that our website is running WebDev right here. We don't know the type, but we have WebDev, and WebDev is a plugin administrators can actually use and monitor and change their websites using WebDev. So WebDev allows us to execute a few commands remotely, and from what we can see here, these are our options, which are very important. We can put, we can post, we can copy, we can move. So this is very important, but we need to know more about the WebDev results. So since we know that we have WebDev on here, we can run dev test, and dev test allows us to run and check what kind of file formats we can upload to this machine. Usually, we know that we need to get an ASPX file in there, but we need to check if we can using dev test. Maybe we can do PHP instead, for example. So let's do a dev test, specify URL, and HTTP 10.10.10. Okay, 10.10.10.15, and there we go. And this shouldn't take too long. As you can see, it's going. So it's failing, so that means that we cannot use this format. HTML. Okay, so here's a summary of what we can. We can put files in these formats, but the only ones that succeeded are HTML and text. That's a problem because ASPX is what we're going for. However, if we go back to our nmap results, we can also move files, which is very interesting. So there has to be a way to put a file, then move it and rename it. So let's just do a WebDev move. There we go. And see what happens here. What are our options? We can do this from Kali, but it's nice to read on these functions. So there's an example: move, array name, start subscript, end subscript, and a move. And here are the options. So this is what we'll be doing here. Our plan is to put our ASPX payload using text, then move it and rename it during the move to ASPX. This way we can execute it. We'll put it as text, it will be accepted. But we can move around and rename things, it looks like, with these things. So I did some research and it looks like that works. Just going back to our Derb results, and it looks like we do have some images. We can open and see what's going on in there. Yeah, but let's go ahead and try this option where we put our ASPX payload as text and move it around and rename it. And I did this last time where I put ASPX in my previous machine, and it just worked, but this time we kind of have to move it around. So let's do that right now. Okay, so from here we know that Windows already comes with a default CMD ASPX exploit. I think I showed you last time in my previous videos, but what we want to do is just copy that. So what we do is just do a copy from user share shells CMD ASPX. This is our reverse shell that we can deploy. Okay, let's do this one more time. And we need this to be coming here. If we do an ls, there we go. So we need to put this cmd.aspx all the way on our website, on our target machine, and spawn this web shell remotely. And to do that, we are only limited to putting in text format, but we can execute the put command. So what we can do is we can put this as a text, then move it and rename it to SPX, and we should be able to execute it and get our shell. So it's that simple. It's a way of just going around the red tape pretty much. So we can just do a curl -x, and then our HTTP 10.10.10.15 payload.text. That's what I'm naming it. But what we're really putting is my at cmd asp.aspx. So I'm putting this, but it's going to be named that. And let's see if this succeeds. Curl, no URL specified. What am I missing here? Wait, I need to specify that I'm putting this. So I need to say curl -x and put using one of the options that I showed you earlier. And now we should have this payload.text on our side. So if I do this and open link, there it is. It's all a jumbled mess, but we were able to get it there. So that's good. We have our reverse shell here. In this case, it's just a web shell that comes with Kali. And then from here, we can do a move. So I'm just going to do that right now. We want to move that file and rename it something. So we can curl -x move, capital H destination, and specify it. But I'm getting this from where is it? This place here. You can learn all about the different options, but I read it somewhere here. So let's go ahead and move on. And from here, what I'm moving is our file payload.text. But the way I want, when I move it, I want it to be named payload.aspx. Then I'll close that, and I specify the file that I'm actually moving right now, which is our payload.text, but I need to specify the whole URL, it looks like. So HTTP, I need to, HTTP 10.10.10.15/payload.text. So I'm moving that to that. And once it's named this, I can execute it pretty much. So text, and it succeeded. So what this means is I can go here to my payload.text, and I should have my remote reverse shell. That's a very easy shell. Okay. Okay, what is this? Oh, I have a extra curly bracket here. Let's go back one more and verify the syntax here. Okay, so it looks like I can do that. Let's see what happens. There we go. I just added an extra asterisk here there. So from here, I can just type who am I. This is becoming my favorite way to get remote shell on Windows machines. This web shell. I know some people choose to go the other route, but this is what I do, and I've been perfecting this over the past few machines, and I intend to continue to use it. So we have the NT authority. That is not what we want. This guy has limited abilities. We want to be system. So we need to escalate our privileges from here, and that's where most of the fun begins. So to exploit this, to escalate our privileges, I have to generate my own reverse shell using MSF Venom, and I showed you how to use this one last time, so I'm saving time by copying and pasting it so you don't watch me typing it. We're specifying the payload, and the payload is for the Windows. We're using Metapredator, reverse TCP. That's just to phone back home, and we want it to be on, coming to us 10.10.33 on port 443. We want it to be an ASPX, and we want this name we specify to be exploit.axpx. So that's all we are doing here, and I can do an enter. This shouldn't take too long. Okay, our payload has been generated. Let's do an ls, and sure enough, exploit.axpx is here. So earlier we were able to put this payload here as a text and moved it and renamed it SPX, and it worked. We're going to rinse and repeat the same process with our new payload. So let's go back. Now that we have exploit.axpx, we're going to name this .text, move it to our target, then from the target do a move again, and to save us time, this is what we do. You just go to our target, curl, we're using the put command, we're putting, I showed you in the beginning, exploit.text, that's what it is, and we specify dash binary because it does not look pretty when it goes there, so we need this format here. So if you put it without this, it doesn't work, you need to add this, but what we are really putting is exploit.spx. So we do an enter, so it's there, but we want to move it and rename it exploit.aspx. So this is, again, you've seen this before, curl move, then destination, like that, and as we see it right there. So that's what we're doing, and we hit enter. This should succeed. Okay, so now we just start Metasploit MSF console. Let's go ahead and have Metasploit start, then we will listen on port 443 and see if we can get a shell. Okay, MSF console is up, so clear. We want to use multi-handler. I've shown you this before. Then from here, we want to set our payload to TCP, reverse TCP. This is something that I've just put on autopilot. I don't want to even think twice about this. But from here, we want to set our local host to tunnel 0. So set our host tunnel 0. As you can see, there we go. Set our port 443, and let's see what our options are. Okay, we got all of our options, so we are ready to listen. So we can just say a run or exploit, and we're listening. Now let's go back to our machine here, and let's clear the screen. Now that we know that we have executed the command to move our exploit to this location, let's just trigger it by opening the link. And to make sure that it worked, we go back to our terminal where we are listening and see if something happens, if we trigger it correctly. Okay. What is happening here? Oh, we're doing it again. We need to remove this and let's do it one more time. And we're listening at the same time. Let's see what happens with that. We know we moved it, so you know what? Let's check out the text here. Make sure that it worked. That's a good place to start. Okay. Something is not right here. But let's see. Oh, okay, yeah. I couldn't find my .text because I moved it. But as you can see, my session started. So I should have just relaxed a little bit and let it work. Okay, so we launch our MSF console. So we can listen back and create the terminal. So MSF console. And from here, we want to use multi-handler. And we've been doing this. So I'm trying to go on autopilot here. Then from here, we can just set our payload to reverse TCP. There we go. And from there, our local host is going to be turn 0, which is our VPN tunnel. Set our host turn 0, which is if we do an IPA here, you see our turn 0, which is this one, number 3. So, and from there, set local port to 443, enter, store options to verify. We want to see if, okay, so we're good there. And we can do a run. Then we have to trigger our payload on the website by going to the URL. And if I refresh this and come back, you should see that I'm listening there. It says it opened session 2. So I had session 1. Wait a second, what is going on here? This is session 1, session 2. So it opened 2 sessions for some reason. That's fine. I don't mind that. Just have to say background. Okay, backgrounding session 2. That's good. Then from here, we want to search the local exploit. Search local exploit and see what we have here. And as you can see, we have that. So can say copy and say use exploit suggester. And we have our exploit suggesters. Then set session 2. That's what we did here. And I can do a run. See what I can collect from this machine. Okay, so it looks like we found a few exploits here. And this one, the first one, 58, says it's vulnerable. Target appears to be vulnerable. So let's start with that. That's a good one to start with. So we can just say use and copy this. And let's set our session again. Session 2. And let's run it. See what happens here. Okay, so we got our metapredator. Get UID, NT system authority, and we are good. So from here, I just do a shell. And as you can see, I'm in shell. If I do a CD, let's do one more time. There. I like to see what's going on in here, because if I have to do a pivot, then I can see if I have any other program, but doesn't look like it. Then from here, if I do a documents and settings, what are you talking about? There we go. There. So I have administrator and Lakis. Let's start with administrator. CD slash desktop. They're always on the desktop. Our flags. There. There you got it, guys. We got root.txt. You can view this file if you want, but let's just go back a couple of times, and then from here, I think our user was Lakis, and we want to go to Lakis's desktop, and if you do it there is our user.txt. That's it, guys. This machine kept resetting itself, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you like this content, please subscribe and consider joining me and the other guys in our OSCP study group, our hacking group. The goal is to create a community of people who like doing this type of stuff, and if you like this, we can all have a community and we can enjoy ourselves. Subscribe, let me know in the comments if you're interested. I'm compiling a list this coming weekend, and I'll be reaching out to everybody. I'll even create a video where I'll let you know how to join our private study group. I want people who are serious in this group, so that's why it's a private group, and we'll be actually hanging out every Tuesday if it works for you, and we'll be sharing notes, we'll be comparing notes and everything, and I'm still learning as well, so I'm hoping to benefit from this group. So if that's your goal, subscribe and like this video and let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video where we'll be hacking again. Happy hacking, guys.